Hey, what's up, folks? Who's ready for a good time? This guy. This guy is. Me over here. I am. Hey there. Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley. Mallory Jane. Hello, Mallory. The
Hello.
great Craig Klein. Hello, Craig.
Hi.
And producer Chris is here. Hello. This is the whole gang from Five on It Live. I was part of the adventure. We want to, in a bit, we'll get into the process, but I hope you all are very proud. The call ins were great. You handled everybody great.
Aw,
And I'm excited to see you do it again tomorrow evening.
Thanks,
so nice of
Keith.
you.
So nice.
Thanks,
I like how he looked at the
Daddy.
calendar for tomorrow evening.
Well,
It's like,
it's
and
confusing.
tomorrow. Well, yeah, tomorrow.
Honestly,
We're
I
like,
took
we're
the.
like a predatory. We're like a predatory parking sign. You know, we like put it at some weird like it's 11:50 on this day. You don't know what day we're actually trying to get you to tune in, but show up and figure it out. Call in.
And I was making plans to see Liz again, so I took my wall calendar down. I was really looking at nothing. I'm like, oh shit, it is tomorrow, right? All right, good. All right, good. By the way, the Charlotte International Airport. Do you know that the shorthand for it is CLT, and people walk around with hats and shirts that say clit, and I think it's the most funniest thing.
Oh, that's
Aw,
funny.
That's cute.
Good.
I would have read it as cult.
Oh, I mean,
Oh, okay.
what's the difference?
I think that's one of those
Well-
Rorschach tests. They just throw you words without the vowels, and they're like, "What does it
Yeah.
say?"
But I guess if you're not saying any vowels, you're just saying clit.
Clit, yeah.
Yeah,
Clit.
They
Okay,
know.
What's the difference?
Yeah, it's like what's that gas station that come and go? They know what they're doing with CLT.
Of
you know?
course.
I know what they're
I
doing.
know.
Oh, somebody just sent me from because I talked about the ridiculousness of a store called a gas station called Come and Go. They sent me one of those giant like thermos things, and it just says Come and Go on it. Like I'm gonna walk around with a gallon of that somewhere.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
What
you
do
guys
what do you got in there?
right.
This is my cum on the go.
When you guys sit down on an airplane, do you say hi to the person next to you, like right away?
No.
No.
I feel out the vibes first. I'm a real energy person. So you got to suss out,
Yeah.
like, are they open or not? Do I actually want to talk to this person? You got to suss out the energy first.
How did they read if you're open or not?
Oh,
I-
that's a
I
good
almost
question.
feel like
I don't
I'm in
trust
your-
anybody else to be doing that kind of gauging. I just
Okay.
expect everybody to just be living all
Themselves.
willy nilly and like not caring about that shit. But maybe they are too. I don't know.
I feel like I'm in your space, even though I'm in my own seat. I feel like I'm in
Yeah.
your space, and I have to acknowledge it.
Yeah, as someone from the South, like I feel like we have to do like that baseline level, just pleasantry talk. Like, hey, is anybody sitting here? Like, oh,
Yeah.
excuse me, I'm gonna, like I just do like a base level of just like I'm just being a nice, polite person in public. Like,
But wait,
and
on
just
a
based
plane,
on that,
on a plane when
Yeah.
you have assigned seats, you ask, "Is anybody sitting here?"
I fly a lot of Southwest, so there's no assigned
Oh,
seat.
okay, okay. Sorry, I was like,
But no, if I had an assigned seat, I would probably just say, hey, my seat's right there. Like, like.
yeah.
I say,
Well, I'm not an asshole.
I sincerely say, and I'm saying it's silly, but I go, can I join you? And then I sit down, and
Aw, that's cute.
it's cute, but sometimes you get the weirdest look, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a rough 2 hours.
Yes, glad I started with that one.
Like right away, you just get the vibe, like, oh, I figured you out after 2 sentences of nothing, and yeah, and
Yeah.
you know what? Let's not look at you at all. You know what I do now? I bring a chess timer. And I set it to 5 minutes. And whenever the person talks to me, I start it. And when they stop, I hit the button again. And they start realizing, oh shit, I don't know what happens when my time is done, but I only have so much I can talk to you. In fact, when the
I only have
stewardess
5 on it.
right, when the stewardess comes over and is like peanuts or crackers for the person, I put my hand over the chest timer, like, Watch yourself.
You're like hovering.
Yeah, and they're like, I don't know if I should talk. And I'm like, he'll have the peanuts. And it really
Wow.
Don't
cuts
have too
down
many
on
specifications like less
Right.
ice or anything that's going to add to your word count, you know.
Right. But it keeps them quiet. I was just I saw that British Airways, one of their airplanes got hit by lightning. How exciting would that be?
Don't they always do?
They're up there.
What
Big and
happened?
metal and in the sky. I mean, I don't know what
yeah,
you're
I
asking
thought-
for other than that.
I thought it was pretty normal for planes to
Yeah.
get hit by lightning.
Did
Or
something
maybe
happen?
that was
Keith?
Twilight Zone.
I-
Did you read the rest of the story? Did something happen?
Yeah, well, there was a gremlin on the wing, like tearing out the engine and stuff, so it was kind of gnarly.
It
Only
worked
one
out.
guy could see it.
Wait, that happened to you too?
Everything was fine, Mallory. Everything was fine. It just
Okay.
sounds like an adventure.
I wonder if you can feel it in the plane.
You have to, right?
You would think so.
Some pretty weak lightning if you can't.
Well, let me tell you about that. I sent these guys a video earlier today to Craig and Mallory, just sending dog videos. But I was out on it was like a passing thunderstorm,
yeah.
and I was out on my patio, and I just wanted to get a little video of my dog just in the rain and like the vibe. As soon as I turned on the video, like a very bright, close flash of lightning happened, and then like very loud and scary thunder like scared the shit out of both of us like in this video. So it was a fun little moment to capture, like just really being afraid of Mother Nature, you know?
Have you guys noticed this? When I was in Charlotte, it's the first time I've ever seen it. And I was born in the country, and then, of course, now I'm in New York City. Reserved veteran parking. If you're a veteran, you get a closer spot to the, and and they also, of course, have handicapped areas.
So
But-
they're separate.
so
Those
they're-
things are
Yep.
distinct.
They're
from each other.
separate. So,
Wow.
right.
Okay.
So just for being a veteran, I can park closer, and it's very exciting.
Did you take advantage of it?
Yeah,
Keith?
well, Liz did, yes. It's like,
Okay,
look, I've never
great.
been able
Love
to do
that for
this
Liz.
before. Meanwhile, right next to her is a spot when she has her kid for families, but it's like still,
Okay.
she was excited. She's like, oh, look
Do you
at
have to
this.
leave your veteran card in the
Yeah.
window?
You leave it on your
Keith got
dashboard.
her a sticker that goes on the back window that says "Veteran on board" with a
Right.
stroller next to it.
Cool.
Oh.
Yeah,
cool.
no, I don't think they challenge you, but it was fun to know that I hope I do get challenged and it's on my license. Very exciting.
Who needs comprehensive health care when you
Right.
got, convenient
A
parking?
parking spot.
Yeah.
Oh, the VA is horrible, but
Yeah.
But good parking.
I can just run in and out. It's very exciting.
Very easy.
Speaking of the military, I just saw this with Carmen Lynch posted, and it's those canine dogs, and it seems I know Kyle was over there, and one of the male comics did this where you can party with the dog. You go run, the dog's gonna grab your vest, and who was it that did it?
You're looking like the Michelin Man, like in
Yeah.
all this like,
And-
padding and stuff.
And the dude comic got his skin was pierced from this dog, and I said, you know what, I wouldn't do it. And I know that men will feel inadequate or like a pussy, especially in front of your fellow comics, who's going to make fun of you more than a comic. But I say no. I would tell my superior, no, you know what? Find me a drill instructor and I'll wrestle him in front of everybody. But that's even more manly for me to challenge you, right? Carmen Lynch just did it. I'll put the pictures up on keithandthegirl.com.
Oh my God.
Ripped the
Oh my God.
fuck out.
Holy
fuck.
Do not do this. You're
Do not
proving
do this.
nothing. And it's a black and white photo I'm showing you right now. There's blood.
Wow.
Yeah, that's bad.
What are you doing? Don't do it. First of all, if they trained to do it, I didn't train to do it.
Right.
You
Yeah.
don't even get a good story at a dinner party. Who the
Right.
fuck wants to hear that shit? I got eaten by a dog once. Okay, Sally. Chill the fuck out. Pass the noodles, all right?
You want to see my fucked up arm? Oh God, we're eating.
Jesus.
What'd you do on the 4th? Oh, I let a dog rip me down.
Oh, cool.
The dog doesn't know you're the comic entertainment.
Yeah.
You're a guy really running that the dog's supposed to. You just go, but he's wearing the safety shit, so I'll keep it cool. No, you're biting harder because it's the safety shit.
Well, exactly. It was like they're training the dogs to bite harder by having them do this for fun
Yeah.
with the safety shit on.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
it's
Just who
bonkers.
is it? This is the only person this is for is the people on the sideline watch it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can just have
Yeah.
the dog go eat a dummy or something. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a real person running in a
What a
Michelin
dumb
Man
thing.
suit. Like, you know? Like,
Imagine that morning for her, right? She wakes up, she has some coffee, she's like, oh shit, I got that thing where I'm gonna get eaten by a dog.
Right.
And then so she gets, dressed in her hotel room, probably, gets a cab, gets to the place, and then like an hour of like putting on pillows all over you, and you're hot, and you're just sitting there, and you're like, do I go yet? And they're like, wait, safety, and then you go out there and you get torn to shit.
And it's also, and because obviously it's sexist, you could be a woman and say no easily, and they wouldn't give you a hard time. So she had to extra volunteer.
I swear to God, if some idiot gave me a hard time for not wanting to get eaten by a dog for fun.
Did she say how they handled it after? Like,
what could they have done?
They're like, oh yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, did she get to sue?
I was just thinking that.
The U.S. military.
Well, that is worth it.
That's
That's a roll of the dice. You're like, okay, do I take some out of the military industry, or whatever it's fucking called?
The military industrial complex.
Yeah.
Down
and all I gotta do.
I think it's Military Dance and Song Club. Is
they're called cadence, you motherfuckers. But I would not, even if you're in the military, you don't, and you're not in the canine crew, you don't go through this.
No.
So why a comic would go through it?
Right.
It's for the views, right?
They
for the story and the views, right?
Well, I hope it's worth it. And then
dumb.
and then that night you perform comedy for the troops. You're like, hey, now I got to rate extra jokes because of my arm is in a
now I got to
brace.
address this shit on my arm. Yeah.
I'd say no. I'm like, no. Again, let me wrestle the chief.
And even the troops are getting tired because the comics keep doing like the same 4 jokes about getting their arm torn off by a dog.
Right. Let me guess, the canine bit. And speaking of July 4th and dogs, did you hear this? Nathan's famous hot dog challenge had a cheater. Yes.
How do you cheat? You throw it under the table?
Good question. How does one cheat?
You put
Eating
a diaper.
slobs are not the most honest people, it turns out.
You just keep shitting yourself as you eat. Yeah.
There's no defecation while you're eating. That is clearly in the rules.
But no one checks.
Somebody has like an ostomy bag that's just like collecting everything.
Good idea.
So at the end of the contest, they count the number of plates. Each plate represented 5 hot dogs. They subtract whatever pieces of hot dog you have left. So this one guy who happens to be, his name is...
And all of that gets subtracted from your human dignity.
Right. Nick Werry, he happens to be dating the woman that always wins, Mickey Sudo.
Just happens.
He happens to be a fiance. He happens to be because you're the fucking cheater, and you think so. And what he cheated, so he added another plate to his stack. So that gave him 5.
Did he come in with the plate? Did he bring his own plate?
They're just the standard white paper plate. You can sneak one in.
He was
like, this happening in front of people. How does one sneak in a plate?
It was folded up in his mouth, and he coughed it up like a magician.
You got it. I'll be honest with you. It's probably easier to train all year on how to hide a plate than it is to eat hot dogs.
Right.
Hot dogs dunked in water.
If that's the trick, then I could probably pull that off.
It's always hidden in the back of the thumb. That's probably what it is. It's always right there. So they tallied everybody. Then they caught him on video later picking up a plate and putting it on his stack. He then asked for a recount. His place doesn't change. He was 4th place. That wouldn't have changed anything, but he went from 46 and 3/4 hot dogs to 51 and 3/4 hot dogs. And being over 50 means you're elite. So now if you look, I don't know who's whacking off to this, but if you go to the eating website, it shows that he's one of the best. And so everybody's like, we have proof. We know you did. He's like, I didn't do it, but I'll tell you what. Let's just end the controversy and lower my score back, Eating Championships of America. And they're like, all right, we'll take it back then. And now he's like, so I said, okay, I didn't want the hassle, but I did not cheat. And maybe I just wanted to help clean up a little bit. And I can see how that got confusing.
I'm just
Keith, did you email them, Keith? Like, hey, can I be the person to call him like you did with Eats Paste? Like,
Yes,
if I didn't
yes.
know any better, buddy, I'd think you cheated.
Right. What is it like to eat that 50th hot dog and the 51st? That was probably good. You probably were in a zone. Oh, I'm checking the tape.
I'm just picturing a future Keith, like adolescence, and he's like, what the fuck is up with my dad? And he goes online and he looks it up and he's like, my dad, the hot dog fucking cheater, this motherfucker. It explains it all. So it's nice that there's a little time capsule hidden for future roots or branches of this guy's root. That sounds terrible.
I love the idea of calling him though, and like, tell us about how you approach the competition. Is it if all those plates get difficult to manage? I know that's your score, right? And you see how he responds to that.
You have a drop a plate, but you know what's important, so you want to pick it up and not lose your flow. Does like the girlfriend can't know, right? The fiance can't be in on it. Like, hey, I get what you did.
It's just a bad look all around for her, though. Yeah. Like, I mean, that's a shit move that he's like doing.
Are they still fiancés?
Yeah, right.
Because
if she wasn't in on it, then you have.
If she wasn't, then like that's a deal breaker,
right?
Yeah,
I would think so.
That's a red flag. Big red
I don't know. That's
because you're fucking with her. You're fucking with her credibility kind of now too. Like she's always smeared with this. Just like that mustard smeared on that hot dog.
But actually, I think it makes it more. I think it makes it hotter if like, they went to the hot dog thing together and they're like, all right, baby, let's go through this one more time.
I'm not as good as you.
Rooting you on. You grab the plate, and we walk away elite as fuck.
Fucking hot dog Bonnie and Clyde over here, like in it together, like want to go down in flames together.
That's hot.
Oh, here's news. I just looked this up. So Mickey Sudo, 51 hot dogs, obviously in the women's
also elite
in the women's competition. Honestly, elite. His lie makes him 51.75. So not only is he looking for some payday in other eating contests, you happen to do 3/4 of a hot dog more than your fiance.
I was gonna say this sounds like some real. Dump this guy. He is in competition with her. Fuck this guy needs to be canceled. Yeah, fuck this guy. Yeah, he can't handle being with the champion. He needed to beat her. Yeah, red flags all around.
That's some sad shit.
I need something that pops up under Mallory that just says like #stop this man. Like anytime these scenarios come up.
Because
Chris, work on it.
Let me get up.
We'll have it in 18 hours.
Yeah.
So the woman probably then praised him as like, oh my God, you even beat me. And he's like, baby, come on, we did it.
Wow.
He was probably insufferable about it. Not not even just, like, no, come on, you did great. I'm a man. All the men do more.
Men can't handle a successful woman.
Right. Even when
that's what I was gonna say. I could see the next move of him going to like, well, that's a lot of pressure on me that you're this top person and this performer, and I have to prove my okay, dude, whatever. Right.
And you know what bothers me about him too? He doesn't give oral. He finds it gross.
You're probably right.
Yeah, this fucking guy.
He's more into gagging on hot dogs than actually treat his lady right.
He's more into hot dogs dipped in Hawaiian punch, this guy. It's like, hey, take care of business at home.
Come on.
He's like,
hot dogs at home.
He's like, I don't want to take my work home with me. Yeah. I am distressed over the accusations of cheating that have surfaced, this liar said.
Distressed. Good sir, I am distressed by this news of your accusation.
I'm sleeping on the couch. I'm so distressed.
Over a hot dog competition. What the fuck?
Yeah.
This is so stupid. Sorry.
I mean, who says that hot dog eaters can't speak with grace? Proceed.
Nick Wary. If you're Nick's friend, how do you deal with that? What a big fucking lie. If I was dating you, I'd rather you cheated on me. Because we've seen that in movies and we get why.
I know how to deal with that. Yeah. You're jealous. You need attention. This is over hot dogs.
Right.
And you had to be better than me. Also.
And let's say that she wasn't in on it. She did everything right. She leaves the guy. What fucking story does she have to tell her friends? Why didn't y'all work out? Well, he fucking snuck a plate into a hot. It was very weird. I don't know how to describe
Now
this,
I
but it
sound
was
petty. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
He
exactly.
what? And it's just a hot dog competition. God damn it, it's everything.
No, but that plate
Yeah.
counted for 5 hot dogs, and that pushed him into
No, but if he's
elite.
doing
I
it
don't.
about hot dogs, he's doing it in a lot of other
Of
ways.
course.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, I'm late at work today, honey. Are ya?
Are you real?
Yeah.
How is
okay.
this my fault?
Yeah.
Again?
Turns
Yeah.
out he works in a bullet factory.
Yeah.
He wears- he actually he makes plates. I'm distressed over the accusations of cheating that have surfaced, and I reiterate that I did not cheat in this event. How? Right. Again, it was just the end of the competition, and I was cleaning up. And then the cameras were on me, and I just let me just put this plate down. I think things are going to be confused, and here we are. However,
When you're in Vegas and the dealer's cleaning up and you just start helping them shuffle everybody's cards together, just start touching stuff on the table. That's always goes over well.
is this your chip, sir? And you, ma'am, are these your chips?
Like either you take it so seriously, you know all the rules, or it's nothing. Like, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I just did a plate." No.
Right.
You fucking do.
And you didn't have a look on your face like, I know I definitely did 50. Because I guarantee if you're one of these hot dog eaters, you could tell the difference between you eating 45 and 50, even if you're not looking at a scoreboard. You know. And you weren't cheering until the end when you went, how about a recount? And they counted like, oh, I guess we missed one. I guess we missed one in this $1 million event. It was just one idiot intern that only looked at these plates and somehow was fired for missing one. Because that's a big deal.
Our only job is to watch you with 14 cameras and count plates today.
However, because I did touch another person's plate. Oh, I did. In all fairness,
the goalpost.
I did touch another plate. That is a fact. How do I know that's a fact? Because you showed me the tape. Was it a fact until I saw the tape? No, not necessarily. But now looking back, I did do that. You know what? You get so dizzy. When you get off stage, you're kind of dizzy. You don't know what's going on.
It's all the nitrates in the hot dogs.
Right.
It's a lot of hot dogs.
It's a lot
It's
of
a
hot
lot
dogs.
of sodium.
Too many hot dogs.
There's got to be tryptophan in about
I
30
would
of
agree
those.
with that.
Yeah.
I would concur. This is too many hot dogs.
I didn't think I could get so fired up over a hot dog competition, and here we are.
I'm pretty sure
Well,
you could go to court and you could say, Your Honor, I had 40 plus hot dogs in my stomach, and they're like, oh yeah, that we have to take into consideration.
How that might impact somebody. So you touch somebody's plate accidentally. Yeah,
Sure,
forgive
Sure.
them.
It's not exactly
reason-
insanity defense, but it's something.
It is the reason 50 is such a number is because at 50 hot dogs you've statistically eaten one hoof. So it's like,
You know what's funny? She's like, I have to use the bathroom. And she's like, it's weird that you don't all of a sudden. It's like, no, I feel it now too. It's funny you said that. I was going to let you go first. Oh, boy.
he's laying it on thick, like those last 5 to break through the 50 barrier.
Yeah, he's like,
the
oh, yeah,
hardest.
yeah.
And she goes, no, that's actually where it's easier. Yeah. I meant, shit. However, because I did touch another person's plate and because this gives the appearance or possibility of impropriety, I have asked Major League Fitness Eating.
I asked them if I could get canceled, please.
Right. I asked Major League Eating, sorry, I couldn't read that right, to adjust my score down to a count of 46 3/4 hot dogs and buns. I'm truly sorry for raising any questions over the results of the event. I'd say, fuck you. I ate that and almost died.
Murder, immediate
You
murder.
check the tapes again. I don't want
Mallory's
to.
justice.
I'm really surprised that
learned from
Mallory's
Keith.
hard
I
take
learned
on
from
this.
Keith.
Yeah. I didn't think that Mallory was so invested in the hot dog championship.
No, it's
Now I
not
know.
about the hot dog.
It's about being a goddamn
This
human
man-
being.
Exactly. And this man
Oh.
is now trying to take credit. He's
He-
shifting the narrative.
more praise he wants.
gaslighting everybody. Gaslight.
Yeah.
And now he's like, oh, I'm being so humble because, yeah, maybe I touched somebody else's plate. Oh, yeah, I will like take that. Where he cheated. He's
Yeah.
murder.
Murder.
You know what? I'm going to take your word for it.
It's so disrespectful to the hot dog community. You know, it is. This is a Dracarys for me, you know. If
You know what I would do?
you know.
I'd put 3 pillows on him and let him run. You know what I mean? Go get him, boy! That's the punishment. How about that? How about you do a little canine chase, you fucking asshole?
He's got 5 extra hot dogs you can't find.
Yeah. stuff him in a suit with hot dog and send him to a fucking
Army
canine
base, right.
military dog. Yep.
A source closely involved with the competition said that eating 50 hot dogs is seen as a high water mark, separating everyday contenders from the top tier. The sources claim that Wary shifted empty plates around on the competition table, like three-card money, it sounds like, after time was up in order to place more on his stack. Judges count 5 hot dogs, blah, blah, blah. Videos posted online show that he absolutely did put a plate on his plates. Major League Eating says it's not our policy to overturn judges' decisions after the final results, but this dude asked us, so we said, all right, we'll change it. Yeah, because he knew everybody was fucking picking on him. Saying, you piece of shit, we won't let you in events. I'll tell you what, if it makes it easier, yes, I stole money from your wallet. If that calms everybody down, then yes. But we have it on tape. You're not telling us nothing. Okay, I did it. Okay, I didn't, but if that pleases you.
If it makes it easier for everybody else.
So I'm a liar. Okay.
We normally don't do this, but this guy's so weird. Even us weirdos who organize and care about hot dog contests are mad.
God damn.
Right. And then is the guy? Did they recount the guy that you stole the plate from?
What about that guy?
What about that guy?
So he stole a plate. He didn't sneak a plate in. Right? Is that what you're saying?
Like
in the article?
That he just
He's
took
like
a plate
shuffling
from
plates on accident or whatever.
So once you miscounted one, maybe you miscounted them all. But you're like, no, I think it was just him I fucked up.
The audacity.
I want to give a shout out to Truth Control over at the Nathan Hot Dog competition because this guy is really having his day. You know what? This guy or gal or whatever, this person is really having their day. And I bet they're really excited about it.
The dude that cheated?
You mean like their PR or whatever?
The person that's in control of like keeping the competition clean. You know what I mean? All of these years in the background. And now this year,
no one appreciated them till now.
Nobody appreciated how serious
we need
things
to be on
are.
top of it.
He went home to his wife, every year, and he's like, "Listen, I'm in control of keeping the competition clean." And she's like, "Rich, you don't do shit." And he's like,
honey,
"You have no fucking idea."
Well.
Right.
And then this year he's like, "What did I tell you? What did I fucking tell you?"
And
front page news all over the world, Linda.
And
Rich, it's time to shine.
And you know what's funny? It's Linda's birthday on July 3rd. And he's like, we can't go out. I need my sleep.
Honey, I have to see how fast I can count plates. No, well, I was going to say, you know what? Now my conspiracy hat is on because, Nathan's lost a little bit of cred in my book because they were like, Joey Chestnut has a vegan hot dog sponsor, so we're going to kick him out of the competition. Right. That doesn't sound very on the up and up, right? You know, so now maybe they fucking threw this guy under the bus, manufactured a scandal so that they can come out looking clean and proper on the other end of it. So I'm back on this guy's side, I think.
They should have had somebody kill somebody with hot dogs. That would have been a more interesting scandal.
With vegan hot dogs.
Any hot dog, honestly. If somebody would have died or been murdered on the stage, that's a scandal. This is bullshit.
Right.
Wait, are we still talking about plates?
Yes.
Picture they had now. They're not married. Who the fuck
plate
knows
represented 5 hot dogs.
What if they have kids?
Fair.
What if they have a kid together?
This is their legacy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a you in the world. It's a kid that grows up thinking like, why is my dad such a fucking piece of shit? And then eventually he's gonna discover a newspaper and it's gonna be like, hey, look at the magic show that he used to do at car dealerships. My dad
lied about being a champion hot dog eater.
My dad wasn't on My dad wasn't on Carson. He was at a car dealership and they didn't pay him. He just ate free popcorn for payment.
It was a car owned by a son. I mean, it couldn't be more clear.
No one was lying.
You're at the fucking barbecue if this is your dad and you hand him 2 paper plates. Oh, sorry, I'm so bad at counting these.
Or they have
1 plate, 2 plate. What's the difference?
Or they have a
you can even
daughter,
tell.
you know what I mean? And they grow up and adolescence and mother's consoling daughter because dad's an asshole, and daughter says, why is dad such an asshole? And she says, mom says, honey, I just want you to know that I beat that motherfucker in that hot dog contest that he's been bragging about your whole fucking life. Mom beat Dad, and that's why Mom doesn't eat hot dogs around Dad anymore. It's a sore subject.
They're eating at home, and she has a little more food on the plate, and he's like, "You want me to finish that for you?" And she's like, "You motherfucker, you motherfucker." Let me guess, I'll go to the bathroom and you ate it. Yeah.
0.25 of your potato salad.
Speaking of shitty food, I see that Chili's, the restaurant, is being sued by the Beastie Boys. Chili's put out social media commercials with Sabotage being featured. And Beastie Boys says, no, it looks like we use that song for every fucking thing ever made, but you do have to pay us. And so they were very surprised by that. It seems like it would be like Happy Birthday at this point. It's in every movie, it's in every commercial, but no, you do have to pay for it. Which is interesting when it is the Beastie Boys, the people that sampled everything in the fucking world that laws had to be made. But of course they're right.
Yeah, but it's also Chili's.
Yeah,
so right. They got shit in their advertising budget. Their execs are driving around in Lamborghinis. They can pay a Beastie Boy.
And also, a Beastie Boy doesn't want to be thought of as like, we don't eat that shit.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's the Chili's of it all.
The Chili's of it all. I got to be honest. I used a Beastie Boys song in one of my Instagram stories. I haven't heard anything from them.
You don't bother them, and you do weird shit.
They're not Chili's.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I will say, working on our show and playing things that are not ours, it can be a difficult thing to navigate and know, what you can show, what you can, what things have certain licenses. But I mean, obviously Chili's should know you have to play the Beastie Boys. Like, I'm not getting confused there, but it is an interesting world of like, oh, it's royalty free, but you still can't use it. But and it's like, yeah, it can't be.
This is a slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope. By the way, speaking of sampling, you guys hear the new Eminem album?
No,
I haven't yet.
It's called The Death of Slim Shady, and maybe you guys know this from the news. I don't. Did Caitlyn Jenner run over Eminem's dog or something? Jesus Christ. No pun. He's got a real hard-on for this Caitlyn Jenner.
Oh, interesting.
And then I guess Christopher Reeve's horse ate the remains of the dog. There are 18 different references in all these different songs on this album where he brings up again paraplegia, Christopher Reeve falling off a horse, and Caitlyn Jenner chopping off her dick. And
Reeves rhymes with a lot of things.
Sure.
That's true.
So
was he ever determined to be like a bad person?
No.
No. I think so. Not that I know.
Now, I mean, Caitlyn Jenner's kind of a piece of
Caitlyn
shit,
Jenner,
right?
yeah.
But Eminem,
to me, my take on that with Eminem is Eminem's homophobia and transphobia has always been my thing, but now I'll just do it to shitty people.
Right.
Great pivot.
No, he's not rhyming things with right wing or anything like that. It really is just about transgender shit. Yeah, and it's like, well,
I don't want to defend Caitlyn Jenner.
and
we hate on her for things other than her being trans because she's a shitty person, I support let's shit on her, but if it's about her being trans, I can't get on board with that.
And at the end of the album,
go ahead.
It's Eminem fighting against Slim Shady. You can figure it out. And at the end of the album, Eminem is confronting Slim Shady I can't believe you're saying all this shit and why you picking on Caitlyn or whatever the fuck. But it's yeah, but you still did 12 songs before that. That did absolutely happen. So I get it's a concept album, but it's not that deep.
Yeah. Or just going back to that argument, I always thought with Ezra Miller, goes by they, them pronouns, and people will often misgender them when talking about the stories, and there's that thing, well, do we have to treat them with respect? And it's one of those things. Well, there are a lot of people in the community who would surely appreciate you not being shitty in this way to them, right? I know it's a weird conversation, right? Because he's a total fucking weirdo piece of shit.
But people love to take free reign if somebody's shitty and trans to be transphobic, or and it's just don't fucking do that. And again, yes, we can talk about how fucking shitty they are, but you're showing your ass if you're using that opportunity to misgender them. It's showing every non-binary trans person. It's oh, if I fuck up, you're gonna use that against me. So just don't again, if you want us to take you seriously, that you support us, and like, are just looking at how shitty the person is. Don't use that as a way to shit on them.
But sometimes they try to trick you, and they like Ezra Miller specifically is being arrested for, spitting on strangers, throwing chairs around the room. The cops are like, "Hey, over there, sir," and it's like, "You have offended my person," and then it's like, "Oh, do we get to acknowledge that? Calm the fuck down."
How is that a trick?
Because then if you say anything about it, it could look transphobic.
Okay.
That's it.
I just don't. Okay.
I don't need the Flash isn't tricking me.
Great.
It's an interesting goalpost shift. Like, yes, I spit and punched on those people, but you're hurting me with these handcuffs behind my back. Like, it's like,
and like, I just like, can we get to a place where it's like, trans people, queer people, we can be shitty too, but again, I just like, it's so obvious when the normies use that, where they're so like frothing at the mouth,
right,
to use that as an insult, and it's
now
like,
my hate has an excuse.
Exactly.
Well, I feel the same way. Like, our governor in Texas is horrible, and like, despise this person. He's in a wheelchair, and like, I see all the time, people just saying super ableist, like terrible shit. Like, some of it I'm laughing at, but like at the same time I'm like, but there's like people that are cool that aren't, that don't have that right.
Yeah.
And how do they feel when you say like, wish we could roll Abbott down? You know what I mean? It's like,
it's lazy. It's lazy. And again, it shows people's asses, where it's like, you can't claim to actually be in support of these people if like that is the first thing you go to if one of these people ends up being bad,
because the thought was chambered, like you already had it ready to go. You just needed
it's like
the
you
green
get
light
like,
to say it.
Exactly.
I always start with vehicular manslaughter.
Right. Yeah.
And stopping people from having human rights. And then I go to the transgender stuff, always. The start of Eminem's album starts with, for nothing, and nothing rhymes with it, Haktua. And you're like, did you? So that we think you just finished the album yesterday, but there's nothing. So when you do want to be, and you want to be so fresh, do you get upset? Like, you put the album out, and then then the debates come on. It's like, God damn it! So many things would rhyme with Biden crying, Trump lying. Damn it! I ended it with Haktua. Shit, that would have been good. That's
not going to age well either. Like, people are going to forget about the fuck.
Right. I really wonder. Like, I mean, spitting is enough of a thing that could be just whatever. But you're gonna go back and go, oh, I put Haktua in there just to have it be a moment. Like, okay.
Yeah, a TikTok moment. Sure.
Did you see the Biden at the end of the NATO conference, and he gave
I watched pieces of that NATO conference, and from what I tuned in, like, it was just boring for me, but he seemed to like be talking about what he needed to talk about
until he called the president of Ukraine.
Oh, I did see that.
Putin,
wait, what
which
happened?
He then corrected, but it's a pretty bad look.
I missed this.
Let me
hold on.
Let me fill everybody in. So he's introducing that he's going to have a sit down with Zelensky, and he goes out of his way to make it dramatic. He's like a fantastic person from Ukraine. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. And you hear a couple people go, oh, shit. And he starts walking away. And then he comes back to the mic and goes, sorry, Zelensky. Zelensky is the president of Ukraine, not Putin. And then he and he's stuttering his way through this. Again, an old person thing, not a stuttering thing per se.
Yeah.
And it's like, Putin is on my mind because he's bad. He's a bad guy. This guy's the good guy, and Putin, we have to stop Putin. So I was thinking Putin. It's like, just end it.
Just stop talking.
And like,
someone on his team needs those buttons. Like, just throw a "oh no" in there, and like, I think it would blow over a lot better. Like,
And then, like Craig was about to say, he's talking about Kamala Harris and saying, yes, she is. I'm going to stay running, but yes, you asked the question: is she qualified to be a president? I wouldn't have picked her if she wasn't. Yes, one day she could be a president, and says, and it's great. And let me introduce her, Vice President Trump.
God damn it!
No exaggeration.
It's
the worst.
It's the worst time to be it's the worst.
A person.
What the fuck?
It's
what
the
in the
worst
fuck
time.
is going on?
I saw a meme that was very funny. We gotta laugh or we'd cut ourselves. It's the Impractical Jokers, and you see that they're giving a message to to Biden, being like, call him Putin. And then you just see that Trump goes, or excuse me, see, it's easy to fuck up, right? Biden says, President Putin, and then all the guys are cracking up in the back, like, oh, he said it. He really went there. It is fucking nuts. And when Kamala and Zelensky shake hands at the end of everything, do they go, hey, Trump, hey, Putin? Like, do they have a little laugh? Like, oh my God.
Well,
Jesus.
yeah. Well, I've seen conservative like memes of like, look at this photo of Trump and Putin shaking hands, and it's like that photo of like, yeah. So definitely giving them fodder. I mean, I hate, like, you watch the debate and like it's really bad, you know, and the man's fucking ancient, and I just know that there is a strategic campaign to make this assertion and like paint this picture of the narrative of like literally, Keith, you just made that same flub, but like we're not already looking at you of like mental deficiencies or whatever. Right. So like, but it just catches traction so fast, and it's like every little fuel for the fire, and like that's all they're writing about. And like there's literally billions of things Trump has done, is doing, and like and I'm like, from fucking New York Times I'm getting articles like breaking news, Biden said Putin instead, is like, that's your breaking news, New York Times? Like there's 100 other things Trump is constantly doing.
Yes, but hold on. This is actually I'm with you in heart, but also, what in the fuck? This guy has to get out of the race because it is newsworthy. It is concerned. If there was somebody,
it's new information. It's new information, at least to me.
There was some. If the president of the United States was Donald Trump and he was making flubs like that, I would expect the New York Times to run it as a news story because it's consequential. It's really consequential.
I don't think it is. I disagree with you. I don't think it is. I think it is in terms of public perception, and I think the media is the like instigator of that a lot of times. Like I think they're making that the narrative, Craig, and when that's what like all the stories are about, that's what our narrative and our conversation is centered around. Like I hear what you're saying, and like yes, it's not ideal for me either, and like there are millions other things that like the media could like that are sensational and important and like you say, have impact. Like
yes,
Trump Trump's going to be on the ballot. He could be the one in the office, and we're talking about a fucking vocal flub from Biden when like millions of other things are more important to know and discuss that Trump could be doing and is doing.
And they produced millions of stories that day.
Right.
That's the one that you saw.
I only got one in my inbox that day from New York Times saying breaking news, like some bullshit about Biden. Like truthfully, like I feel like the narrative around media is kind of like anti-Biden, and that you only have to go one step to say all of these fucking medias are owned by the people who fund Trump. So like I just don't think that I'm talking crazy because like they have an agenda I
disagree harshly, and I think that you have to take it on the chin when you are wrong as well. This is why I'm so adamant about this argument, because listen, I really resent when people on the right say, oh, fucking New York Times, New York, you know, they're left-wing media, right? Play it down the center. Give us news as it comes. And this is consequential. If you don't think at a UN summit, if they're seeing the president of the United States acting in such disarray that there aren't back deals that are made because of the absence of this person's, mental abilities or whatever, Maybe I'm really like imagining the world moving in a different way, but it seems pretty logical that would be the way. And I also want the New York Times to be dissing liberals when there's something to say about them, just as much as I want them to be dissing conservatives and calling them out.
But you don't think there's any merit to the conversation that they're doing it in a disproportionate way because their owners are
they have not been for the last year, and we've all been laying in wait, and we've all been hoping that the conservatives are really blowing it out of proportion, and this flub and this flub and this flub and this flub, and then eventually we all saw it on the debate stage, and we're realizing, motherfucker, it's too late. And honestly, I'm gonna vote for Biden against Trump, duh.
Of course.
But also, I don't feel good about that person being the president of the United States.
Sure, but there's better, bigger, more important points to criticize Biden around, like how he's handled the shit in Gaza. And again, I think that like this like fucking personality politics, like that is, I think, maybe what Chris is speaking to, that I think that's the thing that the New York Times says that all media is doing, is like, again, it's kind of like Eminem, including the Haktua, where it's like, it's for the blip, it's for the views, it's for the TikTokable moment, and is actually ignoring the very real policy issues that we could be criticizing Biden around, even though I'm like, I want everybody to vote for him. But
we're about a month or two from the convention where they're going to officially pick the presidential nominee. And if the New York Times running articles that, listen, is there an effort to blow this fucking story up? Yes, it's in the Daily Show. It's in all liberal channels where they're making this a big issue. Good. Hopefully they do the right fucking thing and put somebody that's going to beat this guy and beat him well. Yeah, there's just too much at stake.
And we also, in both sides, you stand by Biden, or now immediately you change it up for Kamala. We don't know how these fucking people vote. We really don't know. So either of us can be right. But it is of note that, man, I would be relieved if Kamala joined now. And then we'll find out later if I was right or wrong. But it is again, it's new information, and it does need to be talked about. That's why we're talking about it. And there's also plenty of time. There's also, that's right, even the dogs are getting fucking round up. Don't run, though. Don't run. Agree. If you're taking a dog outside, walk slowly. These fucking dogs. But anyways, there's also time to talk about Gaza as well. It's almost like when a cop arrests somebody for smoking weed, and it's like, aren't there bigger problems? Like, don't worry, there's a lot of us. Yeah. We can arrest a lot of things.
But that's bullshit too. Like, that's bullshit too, because like cops will make that argument and then turn around and go, oh, there's not enough of us, raise our budget by another $1 billion. Like, no, fuck that. Like, for one, I know that you were just using it as an analogy, but like, that's why I disagree, kind of. Like, I hear what you're saying, Craig, and like, has anyone heard fucking Donald Trump speak? Like, it's brain rot.
But
like,
you're acting
to the purest degree. Choose any day that the man's talking, and there's a fucking monumental worse flub than President Putin.
And
Zelensky,
there's
like,
90 million news stories about every single one, and rightfully fucking so. And I am not disagreeing.
I think there's not as many. I really don't. I think right now this is the narrative. This is the.
You're not in the same YouTube tool, and I watch news.
I'm talking about mainstream outlets.
Yes,
I feel like
I
the
watch
difference
news every day, and they're always doing
is
it.
that like the left is more inclined to be self-critical and self-reflexive than the right. So even though people are calling out Trump, that side, they are uninterested in criticizing him. They do so much more. And I think that's a part of what, like, it's, people are shitting on Trump too, but anybody who supports him will not listen to that, will not hear that, are not interested in being self-reflexive or critical of their own party. And I think that's a thing that happens on the left all the time, is that like, it just a function of being on the left is like, okay, how can we be better? But then sometimes that looks like a real imbalance.
When Al Franken,
and again,
when you make a good analysis, and we did that with Al Franken. When Al Franken left Congress, he absolutely shouldn't have, but it was the quote unquote right thing to do, and it wasn't necessary. Anyway, that's my opinion on the fact, right? I wish that Al Franken wouldn't have left Congress. I think he was an amazing senator. If Biden left the race right now and they replaced him with somebody, yes, I would be happy. I think that that's the right thing to do. I don't think,
and I'm sure that my reason,
president.
I think it's just from fear that comes off as looking weak, like this side doesn't know what they're doing, that we can't get it together. Like, if it had just been a decision of like, hey, we're not, Joe's decided he's one term, we're moving forward with, so that's a totally different look than now all of a sudden there's one bad debate. We don't know what
and they should have done that. Fighting. And they should have done this debate didn't sneak up. It's elderly abuse behind our back.
And it was worse, Chris. I mean, and listen, I'm going to vote for Biden. if it comes down to it.
I know you are, Craig, but what I'm very concerned with is that there's a large percentage of people that aren't super tuned
and they
in,
wouldn't,
and that
they wouldn't be wrong. And they wouldn't be wrong. And that's what I'm fucking arguing. If somebody were to say to me in 2020 that they voted for Trump, there's zero fucking excuse. If somebody says to me next year, you know what I mean? If it goes through and they said, listen, I changed my vote. I voted, independent. I just couldn't throw my vote around somebody that I didn't believe could do the job. Can't really argue that.
I can, and I will, and I will continue to do so.
Yeah,
like
fair,
we've got Supreme Court seats, we've got all the fucking cabinet, we've got every other fucking branch of government.
But you're talking.
Okay, but that's all we're fucking talking about. That's all we've ever been talking about. If you didn't learn that fucking lesson in 2020, I'm sorry, Craig, but like. I don't like that you saying that narrative because people hear that and fucking lose the fucking message.
Hold on. I told you what I would do because I understand the long game. If somebody made that argument to me on its face about just the presidential election, I would understand where they're coming from. And what I'm saying is that it's not too late. We have a good, the progressive agenda is good. I think that the American people are behind it. I think that the American people are behind it en masse. I think that we're not doing the right thing by forcing this guy. And it wasn't just a bad debate, man. A bad debate, I wouldn't be talking this strongly about it. It was a terrible fucking debate. It was embarrassing that I would be saying, like, this is the president of the fucking country that I'm going to get behind. I'm going to argue for, which I will. But
and
it's
it feels,
but you're not. You're saying, yeah, I'll do my part, but here's a bunch of arguments for anybody sitting on the fence to go and take and run with, and because
I think that around our own circles, I think that it helps to be challenged amongst ourselves and dial it in.
It feels. I think Craig's saying it feels like we're being gaslit. That's the way I felt.
Yes.
And I brought this up the other day that there are the voters that are young or dumb and really don't see a difference. First person I ever voted for was Ross Perot. I forget who the two people were that actually had a chance. But I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but this guy seems to have a head on his shoulders. So You're telling me there's nothing wrong? I compared it with Sarah Palin, them trying to tell me I was she's a person when I was registered Republican. I changed my whole party, being like, if they're calling me this fucking stupid, then what else are you working on? So no, just acknowledge you saw. Just acknowledge you saw what I saw. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I hear that. I totally hear that argument, and like, I am just fucking terrified of the ramifications of fucking tell this fucking narrative that he made a flub on a name after doing a whole fucking global press conference, and to my ear, like, sounded like he knew what the fuck he was talking about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and every time Trump opens his fucking mouth, it is brain rot nonsense.
Yes.
Like,
but we're giving him a lot of grace. I listened to that entire UN speech on the radio. It wasn't great.
Right.
It sounded like an old man. It sounded like you could have delivered that speech better, Chris.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Well,
then I'll rate you in.
And what I'm saying is that it's too easy of a pass to not vote for the liberals, who I'm already conceding to that anyways. I don't want to necessarily be voting for the Democrats or the Republicans. I don't like the two-party system, but I get the way it's played. I'm going to do it. Of course I'm going to do it. Of course I'm going to fight for it. But my argument becomes a little weaker when I'm not able to stand on the strongest ground. And I just don't feel like it's the strongest ground.
I feel that. I feel that. I hear that. I mean, I agree. I think it just scares the shit out of me that we fight within ourselves and then we fucking fumble it, and that's what we get.
And hopefully the listening audience here knows that we're fighting amongst ourselves because we want our party, our side, to be, dialed in, and
put our best foot forward. Yeah,
and we want to have complex discussions to get these things sussed out.
If somebody's so simple as to hear me or Craig saying, boy, this guy is really losing it, that's going to change their vote. I think they also heard us saying we will vote for Biden's
100%.
head literally on a stretcher. We will vote for a ficus plant wearing a blue shirt. So they hear that too. They hear that too.
Yeah.
I hope so. And I think that it's good to get into like heated debates amongst each other and dial these things in. The other important point that I want to make is that I really do believe strongly that it is like New York Times is not liberal media. You know,
Right.
It is. There is some integrity to our press system, and you know, obviously there are exceptions, and there are a lot of opinion talking heads on cable news and stuff like that. But generally, like CNN is a pretty reasonable source to go to, and I've always been able to say, like, listen, man, they've been running these stories against liberals as well. And I don't mind those being in the mix to keep that integrity, at least keep my argument safe where I'm standing.
If you don't think that George Clooney thought it through, that he'll never be invited to the White House again.
Right. You know, and I think that they're doing it en masse right now. I was surprised, but I was like, man, that's scary. But also, I have to assume that these people are making wiser decisions than I think that they are from the outside. They've got a lot more to lose, and seemingly, and I hope that they're all doing it together, coordinated maybe, but to save this fucking election.
Sure.
But Courtney's saying if it's a personality contest, Biden is still better. He's better in every way. I don't see.
Yeah.
No shit. I wouldn't trust Trump in a hot dog eating contest.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right?
Not.
But it is not unreal that Trump is winning in most of the fucking polls. And these are not just Fox News polls. These are broadly most of the polls. There was a big article today that New York City, or that New York might be a battleground state. This is all since the debate. You know, these trends are fucking real in politics, and that is really alarming.
And then when you have the powers that be saying, the Democrats saying, no, we have no doubt that Biden's staying. And it's like, I don't want to hear these lies. Then you're stupid. You didn't even talk about it, but me and Craig did.
And Mallory and I have been driving all over California, rural cities. You know, we've been really all over. And every place that we stop in has shit tons of Trump flags. And we're talking about liberal Southern California, Trump flags fucking everywhere. It's terrifying.
Right. Well, here's a point, and I think this is true no matter what side you're on. Carter Hambley says Biden could regain this nation's trust with one perfect backflip. That is so true.
Not wrong.
That is so true.
Not wrong.
Put out one diss track on Drake, and I think we're back.
Right. Rebecca being sweet, supporting with $10 on YouTube. I think Biden would step down if he knew Kamala would have backing and the votes. So I think he is banking on being elected and then stepping down to ensure Kamala takes over. Who knows? Who the fuck knows?
I feel like I don't think he's thinking much. I don't think he's
right. He's not thinking
whether he steps down or not. You know, it's like it's up to the people around. He's just kind of like, yo, I'm here until somebody tells me to not be here.
I before the one of the NATO meetings, somebody said to him, "You want to go to the park today?" And he's like, "Yeah." It's like, "No, idiot! It's a NATO meeting today."
Yeah,
it was a test.
Another Waffle House visit.
Yeah. You want to go to a theme park?
Waffle House. I want Waffle House. I want to run for president. Do you get Waffle House as much as you want?
As much
I mean, it's just so telling that like the Democrats like would rather again like fucking Weekend at Bernie's Joe Biden than maybe take a test on a woman of color. Like that is saying so much.
Sure.
So much.
Yeah, and by the way, how she would destroy him would be
but
so
historically that hasn't worked out when the incumbent party decides not to run the incumbent. So I mean, like that's where I'm at, and I hate that I'm there. Yeah. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Like I was never a Biden first, like in the primaries person. But yes, I'll fall in line. Like, and I worry that infighting to that middle whatever ground just looks like they're not getting an equivalent story. I mean. Like Trump's a literal rapist. Like, You know what
A
I
literal
mean?
rapist.
Like literally.
Also,
And,
this new news that, again, I say is new information, so we're talking about it. It's only been a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's a more fun story. Jay Johnston, the comedian that does the dad voice of Bob's Burgers. He was an anchor man.
Oh, yeah.
He was a regular on Mr. Show with Bob and David. He was caught at the January 6th insurrection.
Well, that's not fun.
Yeah.
No, this is the second Bob's Burgers person.
No, it's same guy.
The other-
Same guy.
Oh no.
Oh, the guy that does the pizza. He's the guy across the street.
Oh,
right?
is he?
He's not the dad.
Okay.
Dad is somebody else.
Okay, then I apologize. Jay Johnson.
He's like Johnny Pizza or whatever from across the street.
Okay,
at
voice.
Bob's
Oh, he
Burgers.
did. Jimmy Pesto.
Jimmy Pesto.
Okay, I'm sorry to confuse
Johnny
you.
Pizza,
Right.
Jimmy Pesto.
Close.
Right.
Shout out Pizza if you're listening.
Yeah.
Let's see. He's 55 years old. Yeah, he was at this. So we did know that at the time, but
Okay.
now he's got to pay for it. Johnston recorded the Capitol attack on his cell phone. Love
Ooh.
that. These geniuses. Thank
What
God
a
for
dummy.
what if social media was really just like for cops to catch people do shit, and then we turned
They
it about.
invented Meta.
Yeah.
We're doing the work for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Johnston recorded the Capitol attack on his cell phone and provided aid to participants, including helping tear-gassed rioters flush out their eyes with water and joining a crowd to shove back against police officers defending the historic building. You would think that would come first. Then you flush the people's eyes out. An FBI agent's affidavit also said that Johnston came into possession of a stolen police riot shield, used it to cover his head. Johnston faces a maximum sentence of 5 years in prison, although sentencing guidelines recommend between 8 and 14 months.
I like came into possession of a riot shield. He's like the fucking guy shuffling plates at the hot
Right,
dog. Like,
right.
I don't know. I just picked up a riot shield. Yeah.
Oh, was I pushing you or was I pushing? By the way, this being, just basically an unguided tour, this is some tour.
Unguided. Yeah.
Bomb shields or
Jesus
whatever.
Christ, what kind of gaslighting is that shit?
Carry this around while you're on the tour. Yeah.
And
Tear gas lighting.
that's right. And this news just came in. Alec Baldwin is found not guilty in the Rust shooting.
I watched it all day today.
What did you learn? Now, just to recap, Craig, what you did watch the trial of the armorer that is
Yes.
in jail, got the
Yes.
full 18 months. You said
Yes.
that she did deserve it based on what you saw.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
Just remind us what happened there.
So
Why it's her fault.
because she was very reckless. She was doing drugs on set, which is fine. But if you're the armorer, like you
Which
probably
is fine. I
shouldn't be
mean,
doing
it
drugs.
happens.
I mean, I have never been on a set that I wasn't doing drugs. But you probably shouldn't be doing that when you have live firearms,
Yes.
and you shouldn't be doing it when you are bringing bullets to the thing. But now, get this. This came out just today.
Yep.
It was a very exciting day in court. So, yesterday, they had a crime scene investigator on, and Alec Baldwin's attorney said, "Hey, wait a second."
Yeah, to be clear,
Did
when I
se-
said not guilty, I mean they dismissed it. Yes.
Yes. So the Alec Baldwin's attorneys started off today and said that we have a motion to dismiss, and the judge was like, "Why?" And he was like, "We just found out that somebody came into the police station and said while Ana Gutierrez was on trial and said, 'Hey, here's where all of the live ammunition came from. Here's the box where the live ammunition came.'" And so they took in that box into evidence. They didn't test it, and they filed it under a new case number, right? So when the defense said, "We want all of the evidence from this case," they did not give them this box of bullets, okay? And so they were like, "Did you guys take this in?" And they said, "Yeah." And they said, "How come it wasn't put into the same case?" And they said, they have the police video of our body cam where the prosecution, the cops, the sheriff, they all got it, and they're like, "Put it in a different case file." And they're like,
Like
"Did you
knowingly.
like absolutely knowingly. And it just got hashed out, and you could just see the judge getting angrier and angrier, and eventually the prosecuting attorney, the DA, that had brought these charges against Alec Baldwin, like was really confident in them. Then they brought him back. Then they were like, no, fuck him. He definitely deserves this manslaughter. We're like asking for jail. No fucking please. And then she was put on the spot today and she was like, you know what? I'm going to take the stand in my own defense. And so the prosecutor calls herself in the motion trial to testify, and then is cross-examined by the defense attorney. And by the way, Alec Baldwin probably has a pretty good lawyer, right?
Right.
A precarious situation for the prosecution. And as we see, Alec Baldwin crying in the courtroom as the case was dismissed, all charges dropped.
Is this a weird one of these things that we see and be like a bad movie, like this stupid red tape? There's no excuse for that. Like this is, or are they in on it?
Craig, make sure Mallory unmutes because we need that to hear you. But yeah, I wonder, like, is it just a procedural thing? You know what I mean? Like, did they never really got to the meat of the actual case? Craig, is that what you're sounding like? Because it was just thrown out because of procedural stuff.
Opening statements were like 2 days ago, Monday or Tuesday. So the trial is very, very fresh, and they got to interviewing, or they called the crime scene technician, and then they found out through her testimony that there was another that somebody came in and was like, hey, here's that loaded box and it's got markings on it, and like, you think that would have been important? You think that might have been important to the case? And then they kept on all day long. They were like, they're not the same bullets. We took them into evidence. We looked at them. They're not even close to the same bullets that we found that were live. And then the judge is like, let me see the bullets. So they bring in the bullets, and they're like, exactly, like the brass casing, the mark on the outside, the blasting cap, identical. And the judge is like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? It's really embarrassing.
Do you think the judge was like me, being like, I don't even get this fucking story. Dismissed! What are we talking about? Another case number? This makes no fucking sense. Everybody out!
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what it feels like. It doesn't actually sound like it's a mistrial. It just sounds like dismissed. Like, can this come back up on different terms?
No, it's dismissed.
No.
The charges are dismissed. Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Motion to dismiss.
Well, good on him.
Fucking.
I'm sure Hilaria's happy.
I'm going to check out this reality show. This is going to be exciting when they talk about it, right?
I mean, and
are they going to talk about it?
They have to explain it. What are we going to hear about? Her making broccoli?
Probably.
It's pretty bad.
Do you watch reality shows?
Right.
It's a pretty bad situation. I think it feels like that fucking prosecutor had a hard on for like crucifying a celebrity, getting it done, being America's savior for this tragedy that happened, which, by the way, it was a tragedy. And, like the first day of evidence, it was kind of silly. It was like, look at Alec Baldwin just smoking a cigarette after he shoots a person. And he's like outside and he's smoking a cigarette, and the cops are talking to him, and he's like amped up. But also, he has no idea that he's killed somebody. Yeah. He had no idea that it's a real bullet that happened. He's like letting people do their fucking job. Somebody injured, something crazy happened. What the fuck is he supposed to do? What the fuck are you supposed to do?
The reality show. Right. It's like, what a crazy day I had. And we know what's going on, but it's like, no, I just forgot the word for cucumber. Yes, my Spanish wife. Yes, you forgot the word for cucumber.
A different case numero?
Yeah, right.
Keith will never let. If Keith was the police investigator on the scene, he would have been like, that Spanish wife bit is bullshit. Can we talk about Hilary? I don't know. Let's put some cuffs on him.
I don't like to be gaslit. That's important. Right. It's important.
And for no reason. Like, what was she trying to cultivate with that?
I think to be more, somehow you're foreign. It's from a sexy country. It's like, and
she should marry the hot dog guy.
Yes.
Weird liars, tricksters.
They all just agree with each other and fuck. Yeah. Rebecca, $50 to everybody. Thank you very much. That's sweet.
Rebecca, we love Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Just
Rebecca, call in tomorrow.
That's right.
Rebecca, will you marry me?
Just appreciation. Will you take him to what's that, Waffle House? Just appreciation.
I would love. Oh, and I'll make it. I'm a real good Waffle House date.
I've been so worried and scared and sad lately because of the coming election, and listening to your podcast gives me such joy that I'm not alone. The Keith and the Girl community is awesome. Heart and hands us that show a touchdown. That's sweet. Baldwin's attorneys had filed a motion to dismiss the case, arguing misconduct by state investigators and not properly disclosing the evidence in the case. We, the newspaper, don't understand it either, but okay. Money talks, bullshit walks. The judge agreed that the state improperly disclosed... I might have made some of that up. The judge agreed the state improperly disclosed evidence to the defense and dismissed the case with prejudice, meaning it cannot be brought again.
With prejudice. And the judge said that. The judge was like, listen, it is no small thing that I'm doing right now. With prejudice, almost never happens. This is what it means. You fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It almost sounds like to the point that these people should be investigated themselves for like tampering and things.
Yeah.
Like,
they
what
might
the fuck?
be. And a case like this, that you have been building it up and you have gone on national television and been like, yeah, sure. He's like, America's stud or whatever. Fuck him. He was totally wrong. He needs to be punished and put in fucking jail for the death of somebody on set. It's serious. It's fucking serious.
Well, with this going on, is it like it's just funny how politically opposite these people are, but is it like Trump's walking away like a king and Giuliani's disbarred? How many members that worked with Trump breaking these laws are in prison? I don't know if people know that on the right. People are in prison. Is it weird that somebody is in jail, got the full 18 months in prison, and it's like, I could have used a Hollywood fucking lawyer. Like, if everything's getting thrown out, I'm not thrown out.
Right.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but I don't listen, man. If you're a fucking armorer, if you are responsible for fucking bullets, like, you got to go to fucking jail for 18 months. That is pretty fucking decent. There is somebody that was about to be like, an Academy Award winning cinematographer, and they are dead.
Sure, but you're saying about right, but we're talking about things that are right.
Okay.
We're not even looking at Baldwin now, the king.
Okay. So this is the way I look at it. If
I don't understand that, I know I won't understand how. I'll understand the same way I understand the bear, where you're not gonna be able to explain to me why this bullshit was thrown out.
Hold on. Okay, if you have a server, right, that is dancing around because they're having a good friend with their friends on the floor, right? And they knock into somebody and they spill hot coffee all over somebody. Is it the manager's fault for creating an atmosphere there where people felt like they could dance while they were at work?
I'd like to talk to him and not have it thrown out because somebody signed the wrong book that night of what went on in the restaurant. No, that was last winter's book.
Fair.
Yeah, so basically he's just saying because of a procedural thing, we never really get an answer here. Right. He just kind of gets an out because they clearly tried to connive things against him, and I think it's probably fair that we don't, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, you fucked up, like,
I think that it is reasonable. Listen, I don't know.
There should be a process where we find out, is he lying about pulling a trigger when supposedly there's proof that he pulled the trigger? He, of course, is saying he did not. But we can't talk about that because somebody filled out the wrong logbook. It's goddamn stupid.
But let's just say this, okay?
Yes.
If let's just say he pulled the trigger, that we prove that he pulled the trigger. I still say he's not responsible for this person's death.
He lied about it. Why'd he lie about it?
So what?
Okay.
Because
well, then who gives a fuck?
Hold on. No. I'm not saying I don't give a fuck. I'm saying I have
a Bible means something, Craig, and when you put your hand on it, you're putting it through Jesus's wounds.
I don't mind people lying in stressful situations. You know what I mean? And I don't think that he was lying about anything that's pertinent to the crime.
Pulling a trigger feels pertinent, but okay.
It does. I might listen. I could,
and we'll keep an eye on you.
I could imagine myself being handed a gun that I was told that was a cold gun on a fucking movie set, and doing what everybody said I shouldn't do, which is point into the camera and pull the trigger. And maybe I pulled the trigger.
Did you though? But did you?
And maybe I did. It's still not my fault.
Okay, but now you're saying that. Where
I might lie about it. I might lie about it because it's not pertinent.
multiple times?
Sure.
I have it on tape. Should we discuss it?
I'd rather not.
All right, dismiss.
Plate.
Well, you just bought me a new jet, so this fucking missed. Don't worry about it. Baldwin was practicing a cross draw, pulling a gun from a holster on the opposite side of his body from his draw hand with a prop gun when it fired a live round. What does a prop gun mean? If it could fire a live round, it's a live gun. What's the prop?
I don't think that the writer there is using the proper term.
I think prop stands for propeller in this context.
And there were a lot of issues. They discussed all of in the first trial. They discussed all of the terminology and like how different how a prop gun and how a stage gun and all of these different fucking blah blah blah. And there are like slight differences, but generally speaking, you're on a movie set. There's guns that can fire things. Don't bring bullets. Like you don't. Not even one bullet. You don't even need one bullet in case. Fair. Because almost never I have bullets, and I'm never like, oh fuck, I wish
never
I had
accidentally shot.
Yeah. Never,
if he's
almost never.
If here's how I would judge it. If he pointed a gun at a cinematographer and pulled the trigger at her, and this movie isn't in 3D, straight to prison. What was the point?
It's so sad. It's so fucking sad. It really is.
Well, I can't wait till this new show comes on. I think it's on TLC. We'll be tuning in for the first two, I think.
By the way, one of his brothers was behind him, and I couldn't help but be like,
Steven, I think.
That guy looks really cool, but I can't remember if that's the fucking asshole Christian one or if that's just a cool looking one.
There's too many of them.
I think it was Steven. I think it was the cool one.
Cool. Okay, so that is a cool one. It's not a Christian one.
Billy Baldwin was the Christian one. I don't think it was him. I don't think.
Oh, okay. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
That's what they do, the Baldwins. They make it tough.
Okay.
But they'll explain
more.
You
can always tell.
On TLC.
Alex, like, he could have shot her. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Right. He's like, you can't tell the fucking difference. I would like to play this clip from Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. Look at the Baldwins.
He tells his brother on the day of the verdict reading, he's like, listen, I got a part for you.
Just commit. Tomorrow, of course, is 5 on It Live. It's midnight to midnight across America. That includes Canada and other less countries. What they do is at midnight Eastern time.
Yes, so it is across all of North America. We want to be inclusive. Thank you for saying that, Guy.
Yes,
all of North America. Yes.
But of course, around the world, you can call in. You just got to figure out the math yourself. But from 12 p.m. Eastern to 12 p.m. Pacific, about 3 hours, they'll be yapping with you. They're taking phone calls. And again, this will be their second show. I was part of the first one dialing in, and you guys do a very fun job. And I know that Craig's looking at it like he wants to talk about conspiracy shit and this kind of thing. So if you got heated or riled up by any of this, I think you're gonna dig it. Am I right or wrong?
Yeah.
But I think more specifically, I'm building off. Well, the idea was that we were talking about was like building off of this model of like the late night conspiracy tin hat wearers, but maybe there's another branch of community out there that may a little bit like that, but more like the brokenhearted.
Some of us late night people just have a lot of feelings, and we want to hear
some
from
feelings.
you.
Okay, aliens and feelings. We're looking. For.
I mean, and
actually, yes.
We got so many good feelings this last. I mean, like everything just felt so good about it. And episode first show was We Have to Start Somewhere. So everything was kind of about first times, new beginnings. That was very much on theme for us. And this show is episode 2 is There's No Turning Back. And so we're talking about, when you've got into those big changes in your life, like something new happens, decision points, regrets, like, kind of all of those things that kind of fit the theme. But of course, you can always call in.
You can call in. Whatever.
You guys didn't have enough crying last show. Now we're talking about when it's too late and regret.
I haven't cried yet, so we got to keep pushing emotions until I cry. Which again is shocking to everybody who knows me that I have not cried yet.
Right.
Well, Keith was cracking people up in the chat because he's like, "Oh my God, these assholes are making everybody cry when they call in."
And really, I want to underscore this amazing experience that we had, and how, we had spoken about this, maybe even on air, Keith. Like, you're relying on like a call-in community. And I knew, I was like, I'm ready for nobody to call in. We had so many cartoons and videos ready to go. I was ready to throw in a commercial every 2 minutes. But
we really were. We didn't expect.
Yeah. You think I'm joking?
Can I give a little? I was gonna say, can I give a little behind? Like, Craig, I think you threw like 5 minutes into me to go to a video. I was like, oh boy, if we're doing it in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I got a little nervous. But it's really on the back of this community, the KATG community, and our Wednesday night group chat, and not just the people directly, although absolutely, but also this belief that has opened up with me, that there is like real connection, real friendship that can happen in a way that is non-traditional, and that I'm not used to respecting in these certain ways. And it has thrilled me to the extent that I think that I can say safely that we've like dedicated a huge majority of our lives now to like building this community up, building it more in a very particular way. But it's all because of, this odd community that your podcast has created. Yeah, it's just,
don't put this shit on me.
It's your fault though, really. And really, all of the people out there that I know are listening right now and to your show, thank you so much for supporting us, and we really look forward to hopefully making you proud with another one of these KATG spinoffs.
It's very fun to see. It's very fun to be part of. Pizza called in that other day. He's dropping $10 here in the YouTube chat. Shout out
Pizza. Hell yeah, pizza pays. Pizza pays.
Shout out to the Kaka family. I'm just happy to be included, he says. Beautiful.
Me too.
Yeah.
We love pizza.
I'm just happy to be here.
It worked out. Be subscribed to the YouTube channel, and you'll be reminded when the show pops on. They'll be flashing the number then, and it's a lot of fun, and I'm excited, and it's good to talk to you all again. Let's go over what we talked about. Let's recap, shall we?
Okay.
Oh yeah, before you do, follow us on Instagram too. We're at 5 on it spelled out _live. So FIVEONIT _live on Instagram. And we do a little fun behind the scenes, just like fun little clips and cute things that I think you'll enjoy, and follow us and kind of get a sneak peek of what's going on.
We discussed North Carolina. I'll be there again in a couple weeks. Very excited.
What?
That's
Nice.
right. Yeah.
Wait a second.
So
you're
this is working
traveling
out.
again.
Again. This will be the 5th or
Is Rod
6th
having
time.
a cookout or what?
You haven't? Are you looking
Are
for
you
houses
invited
already?
to the
Are you guys
cookout?
looking for houses?
I like the city. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Here's what I'm betting. Keith
Hot take.
in Carolina, which has a ring
Sounds
to it.
great. Yeah.
And honestly, I could picture those sleeveless shirts with like a little bit of salt. You know what I mean? A little bit of salt.
Carolina
stain.
Keith.
Yeah, Carolina Keith.
Okay.
Mowing lawns, driving cars.
Yeah.
I do wear.
getting into it.
I do wear these shirts there, and I don't feel like I'm standing out.
Imagine if
I
Keith
love
was.
that for you.
Imagine
you.
if Keith was regularly like having to deal with like traffic lights. You know what I mean? We haven't even opened up that jar yet.
He has a license, but not what if he had a car?
What if you let him use it?
I do want to get a T-shirt that says "Clit" on it, because that is a funny name
That's
for
fun.
For an airport.
It's right. It's on brand.
Right. Veteran parking they have. That's attractive, being a veteran. Again, who cares about what the VA has to offer as long as there's parking? If you're ever performing for the troops, there's no reason that in private you have to have a canine chase you and take you down. So keep that in mind, all right? It actually doesn't make you seem tough. It makes you seem like you'll just do whatever anybody tells you to do. You tell the commander to fuck off. Hot dog eating contest, when it's $1 million production, there's cameras. And they're going to catch you cheating. Okay, just a heads up. It's kind of a big event, this hot dog eating contest.
There's a guy named Rich with a wife named Linda.
Right.
That is his sole focus is to prove to her that he's worth a shit. So don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
We talked about the Beastie Boys. Just because they sampled everything in life doesn't mean you can't sample them. So keep that in mind so you don't get yourself in trouble. Okay.
Chili's.
And we still have to find out if Caitlyn Jenner ran over Eminem's dog or something, because he's really upset at this Caitlyn Jenner and what they've done to their body. Trump, what can I say? We don't got to go back to that, right? Everybody's good? Okay, fantastic. And then, of course...
inject the bleach into the skin to disinfect the COVID.
Yeah, if only we brought that up when it happened. Okay. I don't know why we were so silent about pussy grabbing. And, of course, we're all going to be watching the Baldwin special, at least an episode or two.
Absolutely.
Everybody, thanks for listening. KeithAndTheGirl.com. Of course, be subscribed. Take a look at the website if you're new, et cetera, et cetera. The latest stand-up album.
Oh, my God, please... Yep. Oh, sorry. I was saying, flash those handles. I made a graphic for no reason right now, so...
Oh my God! I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. If you're on YouTube, watch this.
I was like,
that's
look at that.
Let me describe for the listening audience. That's everybody's name. I guess that's the end of it, right? Nope. Now it's everybody's handle. Fantastic. You can picture it. Everybody, thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Keith.